So, you ever feel like everything is completely falling apart? Like you're standing in the middle of the life that you built, and suddenly the ground underneath you, the ground underneath your feet is just falling, it's just crumbling. Well, I'm here to tell you today, good, good. Because the world teaches us to chase clarity, it chases us to chase certainty, but your next chapter, it isn't gonna come from safety. It's going to be built right here in the wreckage, in the chaos, in the uncertainty, in the fog, and all the questions that you might have. So today, that's what we're going to dive into. All about why uncertainty really will be your superpower. Now, welcome back to What If It All Goes Right. This is the No Fluff podcast for high achievers ready to stop spiraling and start showing up strong in the face of change and challenge and chaos, let's be real, and do things that they once thought was impossible. Now, I'm Angela Gargano, keynote speaker, 6-time American Ninja Warrior, former biochemist, and turned high-performance coach. I've literally helped thousands of people do things they once thought was impossible, including getting their first pull-up. And today, I'm going to give you a front row seat to something that we all avoid, but we secretly truly need it, which is uncertainty. Because the best things in life, they're not going to come from having it all figured out and from everything going right away, right? They're going to come from moments that bring you to your knees, moments that really test you, that hand you a blank page to start over, to think differently. And that's what we're going to dive into today. So before we dive into the bulk of this, I want to take you back to back in the day when I was wearing a lab coat and goggles. Yes, as a biochemist. I was surrounded by stainless steel, massive tanks, think like large scale Breaking Bad style pharmaceuticals. And on paper, I was winning because I have a biological chemistry degree, a full-time job, so I've got like that stability. But in the inside, I felt like something was missing. And I felt like I was in someone else's life. It didn't really feel like my reality. And every morning when I would go, well, let's say every night when I would go, because I was working the overnight shift, I would be gripping onto that steering wheel, ready for that 45-minute commute to this job. And I'd be asking myself, is this really it? Is this really what I'm meant to be doing? And it truly didn't feel like it was. I mean, there were days where my head was just I was so tired from the long commutes that I could barely even like function, right? And then one day I just made that choice that this wouldn't be my reality anymore. So I did something wild and I saved up 6 months rent and I quit this job. Now for you don't need to quit your job. Maybe it's just reflecting on some things that you can do differently to make the situation different, to show up differently, to come back to your why. Now for me, when I quit, I want to be very clear here because everyone always asks me this. I did not have a plan. Like when I say I did not have a business plan, I mean zero type of business plan, zero kind of idea of what it was that I was going to do next. Which really, when you have nothing to fall back on, no business plan, nothing to fall back on, it truly forces you to think in different ways, right? So I got a part-time job. I was working as a gymnastics coach. And in the after hours, I would actually train the parents to try and get them nice and fit. But when I first started doing this, nobody was showing up. Like I assumed right away, like everyone's gonna show up. This is gonna be so easy. And nobody showed up. I mean, crickets. And then one person showed up, just one. And week after week, it was just this one person, me and them, each week, over and over again. And after a couple of weeks and then a month of this, I was like, maybe this wasn't the best idea. Maybe I shouldn't have quit this job. Maybe I need to go back to science. Like, what am I even doing? But there was some voice in my head that said, you know what, like keep going. Let's kind of think of different things that we can do in order to make this work, right? And it made me really ask myself some different questions. So I asked that person to bring a friend. That person brought a friend. The next person brought a friend. Started experimenting with different things. And all of a sudden, it went from one person over and over again to a whole massive group, which eventually turned into me opening up a full-blown gym, which I still, again, had no idea how to run. I don't know what I was thinking. But the uncertainty of that, the really being like thrown into the weeds, right? That really created this spark to get creative, to get innovative. And without that, that wouldn't have happened, right? Because what if everything just kind of went right away, right? Everyone just started showing up. Okay, cool, easy. Done. I wouldn't have learned and grown and got creative with my marketing and the next steps. And that's the same thing that is going to be similar for you as well, right? Because maybe wherever it is that you're stuck right now, Maybe when you're being thrown into the weeds, although it's painful and it sucks, after you allow yourself to feel and allow yourself to feel that sucky piece of it, it's going to force you to think differently. It's going to teach you how to create, not just stick with the norms. And I love to zoom out and think of it as like our favorite songs that we jam out to, right? Those songs were not written typically when relationships were going really great, right? These songs were typically written from heartbreak, from some type of failure that had happened, from a relationship that failed, from a death that might have happened, unfortunately. This uncertainty sparked creativity. And some of the best songs that we listen to, it's because of that. Those wouldn't have been creative if everything was going right? I mean, maybe there's some songs of like, oh, my relationship's been great the whole time, yada, yada, yada. Like, but no, it's not. These are created when things are falling apart and as you start to bring them back together and who you become during that. That's where the art is created. That's where the innovation is created. That's where you're going to become this up-leveled version of yourself. And I really want to dive into the heart of this because you might be in a place right now where things are feeling really uncertain. Maybe you're not really sure. Maybe it's things in your job. Maybe the sales in your job are just kind of like, you're not really sure where the next one's going to come from. Maybe marketing is really shifted and you're trying to figure out what that next thing is going to be. But what an opportunity to create incredible innovation and do something that maybe would have never actually happened if that uncertainty wasn't there. Uncertainty is going to literally shake us and waken us up. It's going to turn apathy into art. It's going to turn desperation into some direction. And it's going to really turn a pain into something powerful. And again, maybe you're in it right now. Maybe right now you don't really recognize yourself in this new version of yourself, this new body that you might be in. And good. Because this, my friends, this is your hallway moment. And maybe you've heard, if you've listened to my keynotes before, this quote that just absolutely fires me up. And it says, when one door closes, another one opens, but nobody talks about the hallway in between, the dark hallway. That dark hallway, it's sacred. It's sacred. It's where you really stop being who you used to be and you start becoming. It's where you truly meet yourself. It's where you build. It's where you innovate. It's a powerful place to be. It's dark, it's scary. And that's where we're actually going to spend most of our time, in this uncertain place. So why not lean into it? We can still feel like it sucks because let's be real here. Uncertainty is not going to be necessarily happy-go-lucky all the time, right? But we can at least allow ourselves to realize that this is going to be something that's going to spark something so much greater for ourselves or for others. So what I want to do today is I want to go through 3 actions you can take when things are completely uncertain. And I really want you to think about uncertainty as a good thing. And no, you can always come back to this podcast when the next uncertain thing happens, because it sure as heck is going to. Okay, so 3 actionable steps. If you're uncertain, if you're in this dark hallway in between, where everything's in limbo, here are things you can literally do today, like right now. Number 1, you can give your uncertainty a job. Literally say it out loud. This moment is here to make me creative. And write down whatever it is that you're truly uncertain about. If I had to solve this in a brand new way, what might that even look like? Use that uncertainty. What might that look like? If you were to throw out however it was done before, what could that look like? And just throw everything on the table. Nothing is off limits here. Allow it to be, okay, what can I do now? I know for me personally, I'm in the midst of uncertainty. I'm revamping a lot of pieces of my coaching business. And I'm like, how can I make this look different than I did before? Make it 10 times better. Make it even more impactful to really help the whole encompassing person that I'm trying to help in this world. To help them become healthier, wealthier, to help them walk confidently in their body, and it not just be a fitness thing. And I would have never had these thoughts and thought bigger if I was in a certain place with all this. Number 2, I want you to turn your rock bottom uncertain moment into research. That's all this is. This is one big experiment. Thank goodness I did science, because I know everything's a big experiment. You don't need to sit in the suck. You can study it. You can ask yourself, what is this chapter trying to release in me, and what do I need to let go of? What's not working? What was working? And as you start to ask yourself these questions, you start to create this blueprint, and you start to realize that, wow, that wasn't the things that didn't go well. That's not necessarily a bad thing. This was just research to figure out what didn't work. so that I could figure out what does work. So use it as research. Everything that goes wrong doesn't necessarily go as right. It's just research. It's just more information that we can use, and it all has a purpose. And number 3, I want you to just do one singular brave thing. You don't need to do 5 things. You don't need to do a full reinvention of your entire life, but just take one move. Whether it's sending the DM, applying for the job, going for the walk, booking the class. Because action is going to help create clarity every single time. And even if the action, you're not really sure exactly where it's going to go, even if you're scared about the action that you're taking, action is going to create clarity. When you're stagnant and when you're not doing anything, that's where you're going to get stuck. And we're not trying to get stuck here, right? We're using this uncertainty as innovation, and which means taking action. And if you don't know where to start, if you do not know where to start in this uncertain time, always come back to starting with yourself. Always. That means get back into your habits. Get back into drinking water, getting movement in, doing the basic things, and start taking action and doing something for yourself, because as you start to move, it's going to start to create clarity. So just realize you're not going to have clarity. It's not going to be clear right away. But again, think about it as like there's something brewing inside you, some kind of research that's happening to create this amazing innovation and to game-changing parts of your life. But always come back to you when you do that one brave thing first. You're not doing stuff for you first. Got to. You're going to be the one who's going to create this next piece of your life and who you're becoming. And we have to make sure our foundation, our shell is taken care of. So again, I want a tattoo in your brain right now. I want you to marinate it in your brain. You don't need to wait for clarity to take action. You don't need certainty to start anything. You just need one simple thing, and just that courage. That courage to move forward before the light turns on in that hallway that you're in. Uncertainty is not your enemy. Don't think of it as your enemy. This is your greatest advantage. Your greatest advantage. So if you're really thinking to yourself, what is next? What do I do? Oh my goodness. Oh yes. Good. I'm excited for you. Have you ever had anyone said that to you? Like, I'm excited for you. This is going to be a game changer for you. So anyways, just know that you do not have to do this alone. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Like, subscribe, do all the things. And if you're looking for more support and you need help even foundationing right now, I do have a free course which teaches you how to get strong, tone, lean, and confident, but more importantly, do that in less than 4 hours a week so that you're focusing on you, getting back to that foundation so that you can help navigate through uncertainty, so that you become the healthiest, wealthiest, best version of yourself. That's my mission. Anyways, thanks so much for listening to What If It All Goes Right, and I will see you next